welcome to our Women in Gaming show. I am Catarina. I'm a program manager at Xbox, and today we have with us Jessie. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
I'm Jessie Thomas. I'm a member of the Xbox research team. I work with 343 Industries and kind of do research for all things Halo.
Awesome.
Amazing.
I know.
User researchers, like, you guys need more love. Like, there's nothing harder than, like, taking information and then going to someone and being like, but look, they don't get it. You have to change it. Like, it's a hard job.
It's an interesting job, right? It's about taking feedback and wrapping it and applying a little bit of science magic to it and then giving it back to really creative people to do awesome things with.
And well, you guys will learn everything about it today because we have a bunch of questions for you to explain more about what you do. And
great.
Tara.
And I'm, you guys may know me. I am Tara Voelker. I work on Mixer as a program manager, but also the host of the Mixer Blue Show. Catch it today at 3 p.m. Mixer's, source for all things PlayStation.
Well, there you go. You have more things to tune in today. Anyways, after that, so this is a show that we now do bi-weekly. So we used to do this show monthly, but because of all of your guys' support, and it's been amazing, we decided to do it every 2 weeks so we can hang out more with you guys. So I'll just walk you through the rundown of the show and how it all works. So we'll start by saying what games we are playing. So and just talk a little bit more about that, what we've been currently playing. Then we have our Snap segment where we actually give shout outs to people from the community who are doing amazing things.
And you guys, there's a Snaps emote. So if you're not already following the channel, give it a follow so you can use the Snaps emote.
Absolutely. We have a ton of like really, really cool emotes that you can use if you hit that follow button, by the way. And then we have our game over segments where we talk about not so good things that are happening in the gaming industry. And then we also have our one up segment where we talk about really good things that are happening in the industry in the past 2 weeks. So you obviously can participate and ask questions in the chat. We'll pick the best ones and we'll try to answer. And we've already talked about the emotes, so
I jumped the gun. I was super excited to see them. I love that there's the Snaps one.
Yeah, and today we're going to be playing, by the way, Ori.
Yes,
right. So Jessie, you chose that game.
Love Ori.
I think everyone.
I have a soft
Ori.
spot for Ori. I played the full version all the way through, and then I got the definitive edition, and I played that all the way through, and then like every other month or so, I pick it up and I play it again all the way through.
We all have those games that we do that with, that like you can't help but come back, and that's such a good one to have that one too. If you guys haven't played it, oh my god, you have to go get it.
Yeah,
feels,
all of it.
So yeah, I mean that's a good segue, honestly. Like, what are you playing currently? Is it Ori?
Well, Ori's gonna happen every couple of months or so. I do try and switch it up. Really excited for Anthem. Had to hop into that Anthem demo and try out those javelins and. I still can't quite decide which one I'm kind of leaning towards.
But it was so much fun, the demo. Like,
it was.
All the animation, it just felt really good. As soon as I started playing, the whole, like, animation and shooting and everything just felt really, really good. I had a ton of fun.
To me, the flying, just having that, like, Iron Man superhero moment, I'm like, yes. Like, right when you run off the ramp in the beginning.
It's so satisfying. I don't know what it is, but it's really satisfying.
Yeah. No, I had a great time with that. And then on my Switch, I play a lot of Dead Cells. Dead Cells is just play that yet. It's so good. It's so good for so many reasons. I love the strategy. I love kind of it's a UR geek game. So it's a game that a bunch of URs really like to talk about because they do interesting things with it. So you have the ability to really pick it up, hop in, and play. And yet every time you die, you get progression, which I think is kind of an interesting thing. Like, it keeps making me want to pick up that Switch. So yeah, I'm a big fan of that one too.
Should I get it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Right now.
Yes.
Have you played too?
I have.
Oh, okay. I'm missing out apparently.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll play.
You have to get it. It's super good.
And what are you playing?
I am still playing. This should come as like no surprise to anyone. Resident Evil 2, the remake. I love it. So I was a huge fan of the Resident Evil series, and so when this came out, and I instantly knew I had to go back and play it. I've already completed the campaign with Leon, and now I'm completing the campaign with Jill. So there are like two story that are like similar but kind of different angles, and so like you have to play both because there's things that are different, and there are collectibles you can only get, or different weapons that you only get with one character.
That's
and
awesome.
it has so much of the feel of like those classic Resident Evil games, like just updated in the right way. And they have tons of little like Easter eggs that are in there for like big fans of the series, but they also made it in such a way that like if you've never played a Resident Evil, this is a perfect one to hop in on and play, because Leon is a new character in Resident Evil 2, and he doesn't have like a complicated backstory or anything because he just showed up in the franchise. So you don't have to know everything that's going on. I mean, you learn pretty quickly Umbrella's bad and there are zombies. And like that's all you really need to know to play Resident Evil 2.
Yeah.
But it's great.
I'm a wimp. I don't know if I could.
I've played one Resident Evil in my life, and that was Resident Evil. Was it 4, the one that had co-op?
That was 5 or 6. Hopefully it wasn't 6.
I think it was 5. It was 5 then, and it was because my friend forced me, because he was like, Resident Evil is not scary and you should play it, and I'll play it with you and it will be fine. And it was fine.
It was fine.
It was fine.
So,
I think if I could team up.
5 is like one of the least scary of them.
You played the wimpy one.
Okay, so I'm good. I don't think I want to do more
I'm not
than
gonna say it's wimpy, but like the existential dread that you get like playing the other Resident Evils is not there. And like 5, you're much more like, we're a team and we are awesome, and at one point we're gonna get a rocket launcher and we're gonna do this. Like, and you,
That sounds great. I'm
great,
totally comfortable there.
like in Resident Evil 2, it's like, I'm out of bullets and have one knife that like has weapon degradation. So
Yeah, I don't think I could do that. I don't know. I don't think that's for me.
it's very I mean, sometimes like I love it, and like even last week, like I stream on my own channel, and then like I've been hyping up. All right, we're playing the campaign. I came home, I'm like, you guys, I am too stressed out right now. Like I can't play it. I can't play it. I won't be able to. I'm too wired.
Right.
I need
It's like that tension that
yeah,
builds.
it's
Yeah,
so,
I can't.
like,
I would be.
Yeah, no.
Oh my God, there's a character called the Nemesis, but lovingly known to the community as Mr. X, and he's just this literal giant monster who just follows you, and if he catches you, he kills you. And so there's a lot of like, oh, well, I'm gonna walk in this room and solve this puzzle, and he like breaks down the door, and you're like, I'm gonna solve this puzzle quickly, or I'm gonna die, because you can't kill him. So
Yeah,
it's
no, Ori,
Right.
change of pace.
I'm totally with Jessie on this one. Like, I'm a huge Gears player, but the whole like horror thriller thing is just not for me anymore. I used to go to the movies and watch horror films by myself when I was younger. I don't know what happened between then and now. I'm just like, I'm fine without all of that in my life.
I respect it. I know there's people that are super into the horror genre, and I can't
Yeah.
do it. I'm not strong
Yeah.
enough.
So, hi, I've been playing Kingdom Hearts 3.
It's complete
which-
other end.
I know, exactly. So it's adorable. It's the cutest thing ever. It's all friendship and hearts and all the good things and all the good feelings. Honestly, I cried as soon as the freaking game booped up because I was like, okay, I have been waiting for this game. Both the first one and the second one are like some of my favorite games ever. And so I've been waiting for this game for 12 years. And the fact that once you boot the game, you have like this video that shows, first of all, the music is beautiful.
Yes.
And then it just goes back and shows a bunch of scenes from the previous games, all the previous games. And I was just like, I was getting choked up. I was, oh my God, I can't believe this is actually here. I don't think I believed that Kingdom Hearts 3 was coming out until I actually got it. Like, I was actually playing it.
I think that so many people had that response. I had friends that were posting like there was like a really nice like PS4 theme that you could get, and like people were installing the theme on their PS4 and like having that same reaction of literally just having the theme. They're like, oh my God, it's real.
It's real. Yeah, I know.
Do you think did it feel really different? Because when you played the other games, you were a lot younger. And
so I was
kids.
I know. So I was actually very fearful of that, of like, hey, I'm going to jump into this game and this world. Will it feel like, will it just devastate all the good memories I have from the other two games, because this will be super childish and the gameplay will not hold up because it's different. Honestly, they did such a great job of aging the characters, making sure the gameplay, while keeping very true to what you get in 1 and 2, but it's so modern now. It's like super engaging. You have a bunch of combos, like the animations look amazing. It's just so much fun to play. Obviously, I mean, the dialogues and everything, they're they're cute. Like they're childish. They're very much like we're all friends. But that's exactly what they've been like. I know I laugh because they're kind of cringy sometimes, but it's just so adorable. And
it's like every time I watch Toy Story, and then I saw the new trailer for the new Toy Story, and I'm like, I'm gonna watch that one.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna cry in that one.
Yep.
And I know what I'm getting. It's gonna be cheesy and amazing. And yeah, no, I love that feeling.
And it's been great because it's been such a crazy time at work, just getting home and just relaxing and playing that and just I don't know. I'm just searching for my friends in the game. It's amazing. It's great.
I mean, that's the exact reason I couldn't go home and play Resident Evil the other day.
Yeah.
I should have played Kingdom Hearts.
You should have played Kingdom Hearts instead.
So, normally, my go-to game if I'm stressed out is actually Katamari.
Oh, that's really it's
I've
great.
heard that from a lot of people, actually.
Yeah, because you just roll around and you pick up stuff, and sometimes the prince is mad at you, but it doesn't matter. Just try again.
I just go on gears and give headshots.
Blow stuff
to
up,
people.
Yeah.
That's very stress relieving for me.
I play Super Fiesta for that exact reason.
Yep,
Sometimes
yep.
you just need to go and blow some things up.
Okay. So should we start playing Ori now?
Yeah.
Who has the controller?
Let's do it.
There you go.
Okay.
Awesome.
Is this TV?
Oh, this one.
It's
I don't know.
sleeping.
Make sure I'm
Does that
connected
work?
here.
Jessie, while we're starting the game, we would love to know how you got to where you are, and what does your job involve? All the good things.
I had a weird track to getting to
so
where
many people do though.
where I am. I know, and it's actually one of my favorite parts of working at Xbox is that so many different people have a different path here.
Yep.
Like it isn't just a single path. It's lots of different avenues and things like that. So I went to graduate school at University of Washington, and I got my doctorate in cognitive and perceptual psychology. The way I always tell people, I'm a neuroscientist and not a psychologist because I know like very little psychological theory. A lot more focused on brain parts. So yeah, I was there studying and working on some algorithms for how neurons and brain areas respond to sound. I'm really into perception. I'm really into how people perceive things. And that means both from a vision standpoint, a sound standpoint, an emotional standpoint. I'm just really into perception. And while I was there, kind of doing auditory stuff, someone had reached out and said, hey, you've always been a gamer. There's this team. And at the time we were called the Studios User Research Team, and now the Xbox Research Team. Yeah. That does basically research on video games. Is that something that you think you'd be interested in? And I was like, what? That's a fake job. And it turns out it was totally real. I came and had a chat with Randy, who is the director. He's amazing. And yeah, I kind of had the opportunity to interview. It was a tough interview process. It turns out when you have an entire team of researchers, they really care about making sure that you know all your stuff and that you can kind of do that.
Have you been working with Halo since you joined?
No, actually. So when I first joined, I started on Killer Instinct, which is near and dear to my heart. We launched season 3 with them. It's kind of like where I met Rukari, where I met all of those guys together. I've been with 343 for about 2.5 years now. I first came on for Halo Wars 2, and now have been there ever since.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Do you want to give the controllers to Taro?
Oh, sorry. I just started talking.
No, I'm just like whatever you.
No.
Better
It's
get.
Where to start?
playing a game and talking at the same time. It's
really
a
hard.
real skill.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that like I didn't appreciate, like watching streamers, especially like our partner streamers, like how they're able to like be so engaged and read the chat and play a game and respond.
Yep.
And then I go to stream and I'm like, wait, pause.
What were we doing?
What? Talk to you guys. Oh, the game.
It's also very draining. Like after 1 or 2 hours, you're just exhausted of doing that.
Yeah.
It is a real skill, and people don't appreciate that. It is not natural to talk and play a game.
No. We call that high cognitive load, in case you're wondering.
Oh, well, I didn't know that, but there you go. We learned something today.
That's your learning moment of the day. Gonna be cute Ori stuff after this.
Yeah. So Jessie, who are some of your favorite women in gaming in the industry and people you've worked with?
Absolutely. So I am incredibly spoiled being at 343 because we have a team of just these amazing women that are true leaders in the field who
we had
just
Kiki
care.
here last in the
Yes,
last episode.
exactly.
Yeah.
So it's this interesting situation where I'm surrounded by Kiki and Bonnie, Elizabeth, who is
She's great.
she's also amazing.
Yeah.
She kind of works on the HCS effort for Halo. And it's fascinating to be surrounded by these women who are not only like leading a lot of stuff at Halo, but also just generally awesome in the field.
Liam asked, "Is this live?" Yeah,
yes,
it is.
I didn't know what camera was on.
Oh, he's
Red one. Red light.
so slow. So slow. Okay, you can do it. Sorry, I talk to the game a lot when I play.
Totally fine.
Especially this game. I'm always like, oh, look at that little duper. I got you, buddy. Oh. It's just going to be me going, oh.
I
that's
know.
okay.
And the music in this, I'm so sad we can't hear it
I
here in
know.
the studio, but it's like the music in this game.
I love,
Oh,
it's
wow.
actually, true story. The music is the first thing that made me want to play this game. So I'm an oboe player. I play the oboe. And a lot of the melodies for this game are oboe. And so when I first heard it, I was like, what is that? And then the art and all of it put together, I was like, yep, I'm playing this game.
Do you
It's
play
so
some of the
gorgeous.
songs that are in this game?
There we go.
We can hear it.
We can hear it.
It may be on my high rotation for Spotify. It's very, very good.
One thing that was surprising to me when I first played the game was how hard it was. I was not expecting a game that looks like this to be as hard as it was.
It is, and yet it has really good fluid mechanics.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of picky when I play platformers, and that like it's not just about the puzzle, it's not just about going through stuff, but I really want to feel that flow as I play. I think that's like the way that I relax is going through and doing that flow over and over again. I think it's why I like Dead Cells too.
Yep.
Same kind of feeling. So yeah, it's hard, but it feels so rewarding to me.
Yeah, it's true.
Mandy Laurie says in chat, we named our cat Ori after this game.
Aw,
That's
a great name.
That's a great name.
I do wonder how many pets have been named Ori since Ori came out.
Do you all have pets?
I do.
What
I
are
do.
the
Well,
names
so-
of your pets?
It's funny we were talking about Resident Evil 2 because my cat's name is Leon.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
I like it.
So
I have a Cocker Spaniel named Zoe.
Aw.
Yeah, she's
And
a
you
little
have-
fluff ball.
I have
have
my
Noob.
cat. I have Noob,
I
which is a great name, I think.
think I love your Instagram stories because they very frequently picture Noob,
Yes,
frequent
that's true.
guest, and that brings joy to my life.
Yeah, he's Bay. He's my partner in life. It's he's also very special because like he always looks very sweet and everything because it's me who's around. If I ever invite anyone to my place, he will go nuts. Like he's a rebel. He does not like people. He just like attacks people. He hisses at them. He tries to run away from the apartment. He does all of these like crazy things that people just like ask me, how can you live with this cat? And I'm like, he's not like this ever unless there are other people around. I don't know if he's very protective of his like place
loves you.
or me, or I don't know what it is, but he just turns into this like demon in the form of a cat. It's a problem.
We should keep talking because this is the part that's gonna make me sad. Oh,
Yeah, let's
God.
not cry on stream. So, from your perspective, Jessie, what has been
It's
the
fine. They're starving. They're starving right now.
I was
the
about to
worst.
ask what has been the impact that women have had on the gaming industry from your perspective.
I think it's from my perspective. That's the whole point, right?
Yeah.
It's a different perspective.
Yeah.
And that makes more interesting games, right?
Mhm.
So having diverse perspectives there while games are getting created and having them in the room and having those conversations, it just brings different stuff, right? You're not getting the same people talking to the same groups over and over again.
Do you see a lot of that during your role? Because that seems pretty relevant.
Yeah, I think because an interesting part about being a researcher here at Xbox is we're kind of in that group of people who we talk to lots of different people in the studio. You're usually not just with, the campaign team or a multiplayer team or esports team or something like that. You're going all around and talking to different people. And it's kind of cool because I get the chance to see how different people talk about the game and bring feedback from our players to all of them. And having women around giving that feedback, but also being there in the room making those decisions.
Yeah.
That's what creates really cool experiences.
That's really cool. I always wondered, how do studios handle all the community feedback? Do you even work with that? But there's usually like this very loud community that has one or two different opinions. How do you guys process that and implement that into your game and give that the appropriate importance, if any?
Of course. So all studios are going to handle that differently. And it depends on the type of communication that they have, the type of way that they want to interact with their fans and their community. At 343, we kind of have this really unified group. It's this, you'll think of Sketch, you'll think of Uni, Uni, who I work with like every day. He's amazing. And then we've also just recently, as you guys saw, hired a director of player voice,
Roby,
which is Justin Roby, which is super exciting. His role is kind of to pull all of us together and have us all kind of communicate together and represent those different perspectives on feedback. Because, we might have esports players caring about certain groups of things. We might have brand new players who care about something else. Halo is a super storied franchise with a really rich history. And don't let's keep talking and not look at the
I keep looking at it.
Halo, great.
Why did we pick this game?
Sorry, it was supposed to be nice.
It was between this and Halo Super Fiesta, so that's like...
It was a spectrum.
Yeah.
I feel like that describes my gaming spectrum pretty well. I either go from like beat 'em up bash fighting
my
games
God,
and
I
Halo
can't.
to like the sadness. But yeah, it's about a group.
Welcome
effort.
to
It's
the
about everybody
Women in
coming
Games
together.
stream.
Everyone is crying on the chat as well.
I know.
so,
I'm looking
yeah.
at the chat. Look at how
Feels are
sad.
real.
It's okay. It's okay. It's gonna get better.
Yeah.
It's gonna get better.
Oh God. Anyways, we totally interrupted you because of the whole
Sorry.
thing.
It's
that was
okay.
happening.
It was worth the moment. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad everyone is here with us to share this moment.
Why did you join? I don't know. We're sorry, Faulty Brick.
I joined.
So in all honesty, this is why I haven't chosen to stream Kingdom Hearts, because I was like, I'll go back to streaming, and now that I'm playing Kingdom Hearts, is actually a very streamable game. But I'm just so afraid of being hit by all the feels that I definitely do not want to cry on stream. So I haven't done that.
Sometimes that happens. I cried on stream at the Xbox Adaptive Controller launch.
I saw that.
Oh man! And then the Super Bowl ad.
I will say I blame another streamer named Cherry for me crying because I was keeping it together because the announce happened during like my regularly scheduled stream, so I kept telling everyone like just stay until 10 for no reason. Just be here at 10 for no reason. Be here at 10. Don't ask why. Just be here. And then like it happened, and then I was like showing the trailer, and I was like, oh my God, like here it is, and we're talking about it. And then I was like, oh, I want to see reactions. And then Cherry was streaming, and I went and I watched her, and she started crying, and then I started crying, and I was just like, no, Jane crying. And then, it happens. Sometimes you don't mean to.
Yeah.
It's true. We had a bunch of people over for the Super Bowl hanging out at our house. And it was a bunch of, my Xbox friends. And we all were kind of watching the game, and all of a sudden the ad comes on. And you literally look around the room, we're all like, this is the best!
Did you guys see about all of the ads from the Super Bowl? I didn't see it live because I was
didn't see all
flying
of
in
them.
from Mexico. But
That's
but
great.
I was, when I got home, I just watched them all. I feel like everyone had really good ads, at least from the tech, like Amazon, Google, Microsoft. I think they all had really good
stuff.
ads. Yeah.
I don't know if I saw them. I'm just looking at the everyone's fine. You're welcome, guys. Come for the feels. Look at this tree.
Jeez.
It's so beautiful. See, now if we were playing Halo right now, this would be like...
Well, something would happen. For some reason, we'd be playing Halo Reach. It would be at the very end. Like we would
cry
I'm still gonna make you cry.
Where's Cortana? Is she dying? Or I don't know.
What is the truth? Okay, we're getting there. Pretty good. I'm alone.
Yay.
What's up?
Do
Do I stream it all? I don't. I have thought about it many times. I would. I've been on stream. I like being on stream.
You're on a stream right now.
I am. Look at that. Crazy.
You do the community streams for Halo sometimes, right?
I do the community streams for Halo. Not all the time. Wow. Come on. It's been a while since I played, guys.
You know what? It's okay. It's okay. Trying to. Oh, did the controller die?
My controller's dying. I think that's what's going on.
Oh no!
I legit have made this jump probably 2,000 times, and now I can't hit the jump button. But that's okay. We'll switch
of course, as soon as the sadness stops, the controller's like, "Okay, you're good. You're done playing now."
It got so sad.
It
cried. It cried. No, I've thought about streaming. I think I don't. Going back to that cognitive load thing, I get so distracted that I'll just kind of thank you so much. Wow, service. I love it. I'll get so distracted. Oh, see, like that? Just jumped straight onto that plant. Oh, I don't have double jump yet. Oh, man. Yeah. See, this is what happens is I get distracted.
Yeah, no, it's hard.
I don't have the mad skills of these guys. I wish I did.
There are games that I can stream, like if they're single player. Like I streamed the whole when Crash Bandicoot came out on Xbox. I played the whole thing on stream. It was super fun, and those kinds of games I can do. Like I've tried playing Gears multiplayer, and I'm just nope, I can't.
I'm the same way with Overwatch. I love Overwatch. I play it all the time. I can't stream it because I can't play and be a streamer. It's like, no, if I'm playing Overwatch, I am playing Overwatch.
Same.
Can't do both.
Yeah, and it's especially hard because I get mad when I play Gears of War, and I definitely don't want many people to see that side of me.
You just get in it, right?
Yeah,
I can always tell because it's like, oh, I'm playing Ori to I'm playing Halo. Because you got to get in that mode, right? You got to switch.
You have to.
Yeah.
So, favorite part of this game?
Favorite part of this game?
The beginning.
Oh, man. Yeah, the feels crying my heart out. The aesthetics. I'm real big on aesthetics. So my favorite game, one of my favorite games is Transistor by Supergiant.
I love Bastion and Transistor.
They're just
so good.
So good. And games that are really aesthetically beautiful and then have this, again, surprise, I'm an auditory neuroscientist. If it's got good music, I'll probably listen to it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's definitely a big part of it. Is it's got to sound really great. Transistor, I was like, oh, it's a red-haired protagonist who codes and sings. Thanks. That's my game. Yeah.
Supergiant Games are one of my favorite indie companies in the world. Like, but Bastion and Transistor, and I haven't played their latest game, unfortunately. I really want to. But they're amazing, and their soundtracks, as you were saying, like I still listen to Bastion all the time. It doesn't get tiring. I love it.
Nope. Yeah, voices are so good. I just insta died there. I'm not playing real well here, guys.
No, I mean we talked about this earlier. It is a challenge to be able to play and do additional things.
It is really hard.
Yeah. It's weird though.
So Jessie, can you talk about what you are working on? I just have to ask this because I know the stream, like the chat will ask it. So
yeah.
Proactively.
I always say I'm working on all things Halo. That's probably the safest thing.
Great answer.
Yeah. Well, so I was kind of oversaw and worked with the team for the MCC Insider program when we were doing a lot of the fighting for MCC, and that team is still just cranking out new content like you would not believe. Some of the most hardworking people I have ever seen. They are just working on that game, constantly bringing new life to it all the time. They do a great job. So I worked with that. Yes, I am working on Halo Infinite. Working hard on that. Not going to talk too much more about that. Sorry, guys.
I tried, guys. I tried.
Look, we all want to know.
Yeah.
We understand.
Yeah, no, super exciting things. And then yesterday,
the
we
Halo
announced
Outpost. We should talk about that.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. There's, I think, like few rare instances where you can actually connect with a game in real life and feel like you're there. And I just think that I know the team has been putting so much into this, and like a for real thing too. It's not a game studio. I mean, it's a game studio partnering with groups, but like they're partnering with professional people who throw events.
That's amazing.
It's the same group that puts on the Harlem Globetrotters. Like, these guys know how to put on a show.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be awesome. And
yeah, I still have to find out where I'm going, but I definitely want.
Yeah, different locations for sure. I'm tempted to go to Orlando because Orlando. But yeah, no, it's gonna be amazing.
And the tickets they went on sale.
They went on sale yesterday.
Which I thought there's nothing like seeing something awesome being like,
and then
and then you can instantly buy it.
Yeah. Speaking of instant, anyone play Apex?
Well, no.
No?
I went into the menu and I played the tutorial and I had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, I need 2 other people to play. And I didn't have 2 other people to so I did not play it.
New friends. And
I know. I need to use LFG on Xbox and get new friends on Xbox that will be online at the same time as I am. So, yes, I'll definitely eventually play it this week.
I'm looking forward. I didn't get time to jump in. It was like such a crazy day. I woke up in the morning and then they're like, what? Announcement?
A new game.
What?
It's out.
Right? And I'm like, that sounds great. And then all of a sudden it was like, boom, it's launched.
Did you hear why they did that? I thought it was a super interesting perspective of we really don't want media to prejudge the game based on betas and alphas, and we just want to work on this amazing game that we really believe in, and once it's ready, we want to put it out there so players can just go in and judge by themselves without any bias, anything.
It's super interesting.
So I think it actually worked really well because the reception, at least from what I've seen online, has been amazing. They, like, in 8 hours got 1 million people to play the game, so it was this whole like but it was super interesting to read why they decided to go in this route, because nowadays I think that we live in such a culture of it's like everyone wants to get clicks and views and whatever, and usually the negative side of things gets more of that.
Yes, that is always okay. As a researcher, I'm fascinated by that, right? So there's people that, for instance, I'll talk to and I'll get feedback from, and it's very different when it's put on social media to kind of drive a response, right? And it's not to say that their feedback changes, but how they deliver it and how they talk about it is completely different. And it's the difference between, I think, like, I got to give a hot take.
Right.
And, drop some, those words that really get people going, right? Yeah. Slams is one that we seem to like a lot. I'll see that. It's just different when you're getting feedback, like, let's just have a dialogue and a conversation about this.
Yeah.
Like, don't we all want this to be good?
And honestly, you do a great job at that, and like prompting users, Jesus.
It's hard. It's because I'm a user researcher, but really, it's I'm a researcher that works with players.
This is me completely in my like role mode, where it's like users, we have to do everything for our users. Anyways, all the people that you engage with, I think you do an amazing job on Twitter and social media to actually like prompt them to give honest feedback and constructive feedback instead of just hating on things.
It's I think so interestingly opposite of what Apex is doing, right? 343 and the people working on Halo kind of want to go the opposite direction a little bit and have more conversations with our players and really foster that connection in a different way. And that's about learning to have good dialogue with people, right? And it's about, hey, let's just all do this together instead of kind of yelling at each other. And dude, I get it. Like there's days when I totally go off on something and you need to just get that out of your system, and that's fair. Like, you should be allowed to do that. And then when you're ready and you want to have good dialogue and like, okay, now I'm ready to talk to people who are working on this thing, it's just about using the right kind of language to build that relationship up. Because I assure you, and I'm going to look right at the camera, the developers care deeper than you could possibly imagine. I get to work with them all day. They really care. And
Truth. Mic drop.
Seriously, though.
Everyone needs to understand this in the world. Like, the people who work in games and the gaming industry and platforms and everything, they are incredibly passionate.
They care in ways that, like, it's why I don't think I can ever leave the gaming industry.
No, I'm a lifer. Can't go anywhere else.
I can't, because if you work on anything else, you're just like, why are you not obsessed with your players?
Yep.
Like, from the day you wake, like, every single day is just obsessed with the players.
Yes.
So
And doing what's right for them. So
yeah, totally. It's a change.
Yeah.
I gotta go find this puzzle piece.
One of the other like things that I always found really challenging with trying to collect feedback is sometimes you have to like, you'll find someone who's describing the symptom, but you'll have to find the cause. Like, it's you know, it's not like if someone comes in, you know, says they have a headache, like you go to the doctor, I have a headache. Well, are they dehydrated? Did they not get enough sleep? Like, there's so many things that could have caused that headache, and there's so many like, I'm dying too frequently. Wait, is that because like the gun's overpowered? Is that because there's a mechanic you didn't know how to use? Is that because like, and you have to like do all of that work to like figure out like, how do I fix it? Or you know, sometimes you'll have people who will suggest a fix, and then you have to work even backwards. Like, well, why are they suggesting we change that? Well, it's because they think that. Why do they think that? And there's so you have to like step back so far to like solve the problems. Be like, I'm doing all. It's taking me a while because I want to make it perfect. Just let me make it good, please.
So that you just described what's probably like the core section of what my job is, right? Which is translating people's symptoms to designers who then come up with interesting solutions on how they want to address those problems. And I think one thing, we as humans, we are trained to point out things that don't work, right? That's our brains are actually designed to point out stuff that doesn't work. We're actually not.
Are they actually? Is that a thing?
Yeah, that's fundamentally a thing.
Wow.
So we are pattern identifiers, right? Like a huge part of our evolution is tied to our ability to identify and work off of patterns, and we learn, and our brains develop to get really, really good at finding, if I do this thing, I won't die. Let me go through and recognize all the things that might lead to my death, right? And we avoid risk. We avoid things that make us upset. We avoid things that put us in danger. That's kind of how our brains were designed, right? So we're really great at that. What we're not always really great at is understanding the context behind a good solution and how to act on it. And that's why you need designers to kind of think through how to fix those problems. And they're going to approach it in maybe a slightly different way than how you would have done it. But the goal is still to address the ultimate underlying problem, right? So, sorry.
No.
I was like talking, then I'm like, oh man, what was I doing again? I even forgot which way I was going.
What would you say is the most challenging part of your job?
That can be hard. What a part of my job, and user researchers, you know, we talk about this a lot, but part of my job is to sometimes come back to a group of really passionate, creative people and say, look, this isn't working. And your vision sounds really cool, but it's just not landing the way that you really wanted it to. And it's not about telling designers, hey, go do this. Like some people sometimes get the misconception that like research tells people what to make, and 100% it's never that. It's all about like, well, what is it that you want to make? What is the emotion you want to have? What is the feeling you want to have? And coming back to a group and like, God, you know how hard they worked on this. You know how much time they've put into it, to come back and be like, yeah, it's just not working.
Yeah.
Can be really, really hard. The other part too is the same thing for the players, right? Is sometimes the players really, really want something, and for one reason or another, like it's just not in the cards. Like there's some reason why, there's either an engineering issue, there's some other purpose about why that's not going to happen. And that can be really hard, is you have to talk to players and understand what they want and what they care about and communicate that. And sometimes it just doesn't happen. We do our best, obviously, but that's real life, man.
Yeah.
And what would be the best part of your job?
I get to like meet and hang out with the coolest people. Like my day is
Thank you, Jess.
Seriously, like
I'll take that.
Awesome. A huge part of my job is talking to people, and I love it. I love the way different people think. I love all the different people I get to talk to too. Best part of my job, hands down. I love that I can go talk to a designer, I can talk to a producer, I can talk to a bunch of players all in the same day. It's the best. That is by far.
If you had to, we love to ask this question on the show because we get that a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people, and especially women out there, would love to join the gaming industry. If you had to give one advice or several advices, go wild, what would that be?
That is interesting. I think it's going to be different for everybody. So the thing that we had talked about at the beginning of the show is that everyone's got a different path, right? There is no one path. Stop thinking that there's one way to do it. It's your way of finding what you want to get in there. And I volunteer with a couple of several groups. Girls Makes Games is one of those groups. Ignite is another one of those groups. And when I talk to those groups, one of the things I talk about is there is a place in gaming for almost every career. And you can approach it from lots of different ways. If you are an artist, if you are an engineer, if you are a researcher, if you like to work with business, if you want to be a lawyer,
finance,
there's just so much stuff that's involved. It's not just dev, it's not just tech. It's lots of things. Technology is just the tool set that we use to do the things that we're passionate about, right? And stop thinking about it as this barrier of like, oh, I don't code or I'm not super into like that kind of stuff. Like, cool. That's okay. Yeah. So I think that's probably the one thing is don't worry so much about what the right path is. Find your interesting way of getting in there and then just go and meet people that you think you want to talk to understand it. Go do it, man.
That's really good advice. Tara, do you have any?
I think that one thing that is really important is so frequently, I mean, just kind of adding on to what you were saying, that sometimes you think you're not quite there. Maybe you're like, oh, like they're out of the 5 things this job requires, I can do 4 of them. Like, look, if you're really good at those other 4 things, you can pitch yourself and still learn the 5th part on the job, right?
Yeah.
Like, don't sell yourself short. Don't take for granted what people will teach you on the job if they see potential in you. I think a lot of times people don't see the potential in themselves, right? They just see that, oh, I don't have quite everything that they're looking for, but you could probably do it. You just have to learn, and it's okay to learn on the job. And I wish someone had just like been more direct and like, hey, you're not gonna know how to do some of your job. You're gonna have to learn while there. That's totally cool. Yeah. That's fine. Just dive in. Take risks.
That's such a good way of putting it. One thing that, like, to build off of that a little bit is I think people think there's like a specific template for who they want to hire, and if they don't meet that template, it's bad, right? But the reason people want to hire you is because you're bringing a superpower to the team that they haven't figured out yet.
Yeah.
Right? And of course it's not going to be in the job description. They don't know that you guys have that. So don't worry so much if you don't look like how you're supposed to look, if you don't have the exact background. Maybe you've got something that's totally different than everybody.
Yep.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I would never be here if I had not applied to jobs that I totally did not meet all the requirements that were there.
Yeah.
This is my first time as a program manager because I actually have a master's in software development. So, I mean, it's the whole what you bring to the table and the way you see yourself and you know your strength and you know the things that you want to learn and you're a lifelong learner and you actually really do want to learn on the job and making sure that comes across whenever you're talking to people. And I think that's really good. That's kind of how I got here.
Yeah.
So yeah, that would be my advice. Just go for it. If you're passionate, if you know you can learn, just go for it.
Start doing it.
Yeah.
I'm going to die a lot here.
That's okay.
Yeah, no, it's going to be great.
Also, high skills. I see you in chat. It's one of my old coworkers for, as she points out, like a week. She joined she played Evolve and did like awesome stuff in the community. It was
sorry. I forgot. I didn't. You know. So here's the thing about Ori, guys. Make sure you save in the right spot. Otherwise, you'll be coming all the way back here. I was like, yeah, job descriptions. What was I? Yeah, it's okay. It's cool. It's cool. I'm just going to, yep.
Okay, it's okay. I love how your posture changed to like,
I got serious. I told you. Even Ori, I can get serious about. It'll be good. Go. Ori, lots of death. Yeah.
I
still want to hear what you were saying though, Tara.
I don't remember what I was talking about. So skills ended up being someone that Turtle Rock, working on Evolve, hired out of the community to do art and animation, but she got hired right as I was transitioning out. So we worked together, but only for like a week.
Well, it's fine.
It's fine. But
you made an impact in a week.
That's
Wow, you're good at that.
I don't know. I have nothing. I have no response.
That's good.
Yeah. We have a bunch of games coming up.
Oh
have
my
you seen
gosh.
how February looks like in terms of game releases?
I don't know how I'm gonna find time to play so many games.
Yep.
Yeah.
What are you guys looking for?
Okay, so this is going to be me being super nerdy. And again, anyone, so who
I'm
knows
scared
me?
of whatever you're going to say with that intro.
So,
Oh no, I'm
Jesus.
here for it.
Catherine
Let's do
Full
it.
Body has
Oh,
its
yeah.
exclusive Japanese release coming out on Valentine's Day.
Oh, wow.
Romantic.
I have a Japanese account and I have ordered a
failing here.
physical copy because it's too hard to figure out how to download digitally a Japanese copy if you don't have a Japanese credit card. But I'm going to get it, and it doesn't have English translations in it.
Oh, wow.
But I'm really excited about the game, so I'm just gonna skip
Is it the same
Do
game?
you speak Japanese?
No, I
Cool.
don't.
All right.
But I'm gonna skip the narrative cutscene so I don't have spoilers. But I want to play the new mode, and then it'll release like in North America, localized like later this year. But I'm really excited it's coming out because that is online multiplayer.
So is it the same game? Is it like a remake
it's
or?
it's a remake, but they added in new features and new characters.
Oh, I see.
So it's like
And the story changes?
yeah. So they're like the.
Because I love
game-
Catherine, so I'm interested.
Yeah, so in addition to Catherine with a K and Catherine with a C, they're adding Catherine with a Q as a third lady that you can date.
Hey.
You have to date the ladies and then play the puzzle game
So,
and then survive the nightmare.
I've heard of this game. I have not played
Oh
the
my
game.
It's actually a really good game.
So good.
Apparently, they're all about that Catherine.
Oh my!
Yeah.
Like
Multiple names.
here's the elevator pitch.
Okay, I'm ready.
You're playing as Vincent, a 32-year-old software engineer, just living your life, and then one day your long-term girlfriend comes up and it's like, maybe we should get married. You react very poorly. Have a
Wow.
one-night stand with another lady who also happens to be named Catherine. And now
Cool.
you're cursed. So during the day, you're navigating your relationship with these two women. And then at night, you're doing this puzzle game where there are all of these like blocks and you have to climb, but the top block is falling out and that you have to escape the puzzles to get back to the day to date the ladies again. That's the game. And also,
It was a really good game. But you know,
No, it's probably amazing.
it is.
It's
It
like
actually-
this
it
sounds
really
like a
is.
rom-com puzzle game.
it's,
Yeah.
dude, I talk about it all the time. It's not even
I mean, your pitch was on point. Like, that was rehearsed for sure.
no, it's not the first time I've given
Yeah.
that. You guys should go watch Blue Show. They're laughing because I talk about Catherine.
I need one more. I need a puzzle piece.
I'll let you go through that door, and then we'll have to wrap it up.
Oh my
And go
gosh,
through
that
the
went
next
so.
segment.
Okay.
Do we?
I'm gonna play Ori.
What are we
tonight,
missing?
guys? Because now I'm like, oh man, I forgot how awesome this is.
Such a good game.
I gotta
Are we
find the
missing
puzzle
anything
piece, though.
there, or?
I'd only have one puzzle piece.
Oh.
I gotta get the other one.
Should we wrap it up now?
Maybe because
Okay, let's do that.
maybe I'll find it.
I'm making an executive decision of
There you
wrapping up the
go.
game now.
Boom. Spoken like a true PM.
Jesse.
We're moving
Alright, I'll put it
on.
down. I'll
Yes.
put it down.
Yes.
Just to like tell me to put
Thank
it.
you.
okay,
Thank you.
it's
For...
okay.
Step back.
Okay, thanks for coming on, making everyone cry.
Yeah, exactly. That was great. No, we're actually now going into our snap segment. So it's just as a reminder for everyone at home, our snap segment is where we give shout outs to amazing women that are doing amazing things in the gaming industry. So do you guys have anyone? I know you do, Jessie.
Yes. Yeah. So I'm gonna give a shout out to Layla, who is kind of the originator and leader behind the Girls Makes Games program.
Do you want to say what that is?
Yeah, so Girls Makes Games is phenomenal. They put on these summer camps for girls between, I think it's all the way down to like age 6, all the way through high school. It's fascinating and just they're incredible. I highly check them out. There's usually camps. There's more and more camps popping up all around the world, which is also great. But it's like a 3-week camp where the girls actually start from the beginning and make their own game. And they go from like Stencil, which is one of the more kind of accessible programs for the younger kids so that they can kind of get a handle on it,
Mhm.
all the way up to like straight up in Unity making a game.
Wow.
That's awesome.
It's incredible. I highly suggest you guys check it out and see. You can volunteer if you're in the games industry. You can always be a volunteer and like help these girls understand kind of the basics of game design. And it's incredible. And I volunteer every summer. I'm a huge fan of it.
Yeah.
I'm super excited for this year as well.
What do you do as a volunteer?
So this particular year, I'm going to help organize and run the camp here at Xbox. There's other camps around Seattle too. So I kind of make sure that they have their space, that they get what they need, and they just have a really great experience. And yeah, I mean, some of these girls, they win awards. Like
awesome.
at GDC, they go and they can like even start publishing their games. It's incredible. But yeah,
Future.
it is. It really is. I mean, it's so cool seeing these young kids get in there and like seeing their eyes light up on something that they made, and then seeing other people play it.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal. I love it.
It's awesome. I do
Super
have a
great.
snap to. So snaps to that.
Oh, yes.
Snaps to
You have
that.
to get the full snap.
Um,
oh, look at all the snaps.
Yeah, use
Wow,
that
this is
snap.
like-
use that
Yeah, it's
snap
great.
emote in
It's like
chat,
a
guys.
cacophony. Did you hear all that? I like it.
Yep. I do have a snap. So last week, me and a couple of other ladies across from Redmond, from Xbox, drove up to Vancouver to visit the Coalition, the studio that makes Gears of War, because the Women in Gaming group there, so Zoe and Rose, plus a bunch of other people, put together this amazing panel that talked about representation in games and how important it was. So they hired this, they didn't hire, they invited. They invited these amazing panelists that all had different roles in making games, and they all had really interesting conversations that they had with the audience and everything around how to better represent and how to actually approach that theme when you're developing a game.
Yeah.
It was great insights. I wrote about it on Twitter. You can, if you follow Zoe on Twitter, Zoe from Gears of War, I do not know, Zoe, I think that's her hat. She made a really good, compelling list of all the things that she took away from the panel, and it was great. And everyone from the Coalition, all of their coworkers showed up to just help set up the catering.
Yeah.
And we had a bunch of people from the studio serving us mimosas while we were there, and that was great.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
My best friend was on that panel.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so Melissa Boone.
Yes,
is
Melissa, yes.
my best friend. She's on the Xbox research team as
Yep.
well. And anything that she's in is
She was great. We actually drove up with her.
Yeah.
So yeah, she was great, and everyone in that panel was great, and they all had really different and interesting perspectives from their own lives and their own experiences and the work that they've been doing in the gaming industry. Like, it was great. So I want to give snaps to Rose and Zoe for organizing that.
I guess I should be really good at this. I do this. Am I too stat? Like I gotta like whip
I
it.
like
I
that.
feel like I should be doing that.
We should be doing that.
I feel like yeah. You can hang out with me. It's cool.
So now we have the game overs and one-ups. So for the game overs, we usually talk about things that are not so good in the industry, and we talk about them because we do want to start a conversation and make sure that we address all these issues so we can do better. I know, Tara, that you did have one.
Yeah. So there was recently legislation that started affecting video games more. It's actually been around for like 5 years at this point. But a lot of information got put out there that's very much in legalese on, how to deal with this stuff. And there are a couple articles that got written about it where the people who were writing about it didn't fully understand what it was doing or its intent. And so it ended up being a lot of misinformation in regards to required accessibility. And it created this horrible backlash of people just being like, this is ruining games. Oh my God, gamers with disabilities are ruining games because now indie devs are never going to make games again because of these requirements. And everyone got like whipped up, and it was crazy. And it was just like, no, it literally doesn't say that. That's not what it says. Dear, please. Also, why are you being so mean? You don't have to do this.
Right.
And it ended up just being like, why is everyone so mad? Like, yeah, there's legislation, but yeah, you're also not understanding it. And also, like, it's to help people play games. So, like, maybe not be mad about it? Like, when is having more gamers a bad thing?
Right. I think any time that some type of ruling or we get this again with research a lot too, is like, oh, research and data are going to come in and destroy the creative process, right?
Ugh.
When in reality, it's about opening up new doors. It's about having new people in there, and it's about making sure that they get the support that they need to put that stuff into the game, right? And so more people can play.
Yeah,
That's the whole point.
it was the exact same thing, but it was just really unfortunate to see like people not understanding and then getting mad and just like jumping to conclusions unnecessarily.
Yeah.
It's like, you guys, like, please, let's just all play games. That's all we want. Let's just do that. All of us.
Yeah, I know.
It's, like, more fun.
That actually kind of ties into my game over, which was from the Women in Gaming event that we had in Vancouver. There was so many toxic comments online about that, because it was all, first of all, it was this whole thing about why are women, why is the panel only women, and why are women working in Gears, because Gears is supposed to be this like brotherhood thing, and like they're ruining our game and they shouldn't be here, and why do we even care about having diversity, because that will ruin our game, because we don't really care, because like they are pushing a political agenda instead of making the game good. And there was this whole like set of arguments that were just weird to me, and usually I prefer to ignore. But if we keep ignoring, nothing will change. So I'm going to push everyone to be really good online. There are people on the other side of that screen that read these things.
Yeah.
So just be nice. You can have your own opinions. You can voice that opinions in a very respectable way.
Yeah.
And no, we are not ruining your game. Your games, plural.
We're probably making them better, actually.
Yeah, exactly. And we're making sure that everyone has something for, everyone has a game for everyone, which is really what we're trying to do.
For me, it's really about that, again, going back to that dialogue stuff about like, let's just talk about it.
Yep.
And then to me, it's funny. It's like all the stuff we've talked about is connected. But the what you brought up before about like sometimes you describe the symptom, but the solution is sometimes a difficult thing to come up with. I think a lot of times when I am faced with that toxicity, and when I first joined Halo and I started posting some stuff, it was a difficult time. I'll say there was, I was a new face. I was kind of beginning to put myself out there on social media as being related to Halo. The vast majority of the community was absolutely amazing, super supportive. I love the Halo community. I love all of them, even when there's toxic moments, and even that. I think there's a root to why people feel the way that they do, even if it's based on something that might not be a good reason. It's good to talk about it. For me personally, I am in a place where I'm comfortable enough and I have the strength of the support system enough where I'm okay reaching out and saying, hey, that was a super toxic comment. Like, let's understand that a little bit. Where are you coming from?
Yeah, let's unpack that. What's going on?
What are you worried about? And again, our brains are risk averse, right? Like that's what we're set up to do. So what are you afraid of? What are you concerned about? What's the thing that you care about? Do you feel like that's getting taken away from you? And let's understand that. And then let's say like, actually this kind of stuff is happening, or here's some more context, and here's some other stuff going on. Putting up the wall in between, like that's, I think, a good strategy for some people. Some people need that wall and they deserve it. And then other people, if you're comfortable with it, get in there.
Yeah. And I think that actually is like received really well, and people just like, they are not expecting that kind of approach. And so I think that works really well. I'm getting Kate of like, we need to wrap up. Let's wrap up. Okay. But we will end up in a good note because we are going to our one-up segment, which where we talk about really, really great things in the industry. And I want to call out our amazing Gaming for Everyone ad with the Xbox Adaptive Controller on the Super Bowl. How crazy is that Microsoft chose exactly that for the Super Bowl?
So, like, for me personally, working in game accessibility, so, like, years ago, and I tweeted this, like, so often people are like, accessibility, it's not mainstream, like, we don't have time for this. How do you get more mainstream than a Super Bowl ad?
I know.
For me, it was just like,
Who cried?
I didn't cry on that one, but like I said, I'd already done my public crying on the controller, so I didn't need to this time.
The kids are so cute.
I know. And it's
So
like the message is so powerful and so great. And it's like, it's what we are all about. We really, really want everyone to be able to play.
Yeah.
Yep.
Everyone. That's all we want.
Yeah.
Play games.
Let's play games. Games are awesome.
Platform to connect with people, right?
I know.
That's the whole point.
Exactly.
Okay, guys, we do have to wrap up. So thank you so much for being here. We will be back on another episode on Wednesday, February 20th. So be sure to follow us on follow us here on Mixer at Women in Gaming, and make sure you follow us on our other, English is hard. All of our other social media channels at Women in Gaming, both on Twitter and Instagram.
There you go.
So we do have some upcoming events. I'm lost. I'm so lost. Anyways,
She's been flying from Mexico.
I've been
This
flying.
woman
I
has
know. It's
hustled
hard.
like you would not believe.
It's hard.
You know what? The upcoming events will be on the socials, so just go follow them, and then you'll learn all about it.
Exactly.
That's a
Because we
reason to
do
go
have
follow.
our GDC rally coming up.
Yeah,
at GDC, which is awesome, and you guys should go to our events
It's always
if you
great.
can, because it's amazing. Are you going to be there?
We'll see.
Okay, are you going to be there?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm going to be there. So make sure you follow us here on Mixer, because if you do, you'll receive an awesome notification from us when we go live, and we want to hang out with you again. So before we leave, we love on this show to also promote other streamers here on Mixer. So we have a special female streamer to showcase for this episode. You have to go to mixer.com/cutenoob. Oh, I love that. I know. So again, it's mixer.com/cutenoob. Check it out on our Mixer channel, and we'll be back in 2 weeks. Thank you.
Awesome.
I was.
What's the best thing in the entire world?
Puppies.
Nope.
It's streaming your favorite games live on Mixer. Nice work.
Engage in streams and support your favorite streamers with Mixer's new virtual currency, Embers.